Apple's basically doing a large-scale human experiment. Let me explain. Hi, my name is Tausif Hussain, and I've spent the better part of this last week basically heads down with this watch, Apple Watch Ultra, trying to review it, trying to understand it, but there's something that keeps bothering me. By the end of this video, either you will be wearing this tinfoil hat along with me, or you will have wasted 5 minutes of your time. Not too bad of a consequence, I'd say. So something's been kind of bothering me ever since I opened this watch and I've started using it and just seeing people's reaction about this watch online. And I've been trying to pinpoint it. At first, I was thinking, is it the size? No, I don't think so. I think the watch actually looks incredible, to be quite honest. I have super tiny wrists at about 6.5 inches, and even then, I think I can pull this off. Of course, that is subjective, you're gonna have to let me know. But I've made a video on this watch, trying out different bands and everything like that, and people seem to think that it looks pretty good. Now, I think this is more of a subjective style piece rather than a watch. In fact, I think this watch has more styling built into its nature than the original Apple Watch. The original Apple Watch kind of just seems uninspired to me. It's like a tech gadget with a screen slapped onto it, and it's basically just your cell phone screen shrunken down and just wrapped around your wrist. But this feels a little bit different. This feels like they've actually taken a risk and there's some actual styling cues to it. So then what else could it be if it's not the size? I simply cannot understand why Apple made this watch. Who is the target audience and what is the end game here? Don't get me wrong, I'm not upset by this watch by any means. In fact, this is probably one of my favorite Apple products launched this year thus far. It's just that I find it tough to believe that Apple really designed a watch to cater to such a small niche and just didn't even do a great job at it. Is the target audience really extreme outdoor sports and divers? Because that's what the entire event seemed to focus on. And if that's the case, Apple must surely know that this watch really falls short on a lot of the metrics that those people look to and rely on for their watches. For example, for outdoor sports, the watch doesn't even offer offline maps, and there's no real way to upload routes or anything like that to it. So for people that are actually going into areas without a connection, it kind of defeats the entire purpose. I've had some friends, in fact, tell me that this watch kind of feels obsolete on arrival for them because it won't give them the necessary information at the speed that is required. They need to get alerts if they're going off trail immediately. They need to know upcoming turns and forks and hazards, and the watch is not really going to do that. Battery life also, although it is amazing because they have increased it quite a bit compared to what we're currently used to with our older Apple Watches, it's nowhere close to what people that actually use outdoor watches get with their outdoor watches. Like, these people are basically charging their watches like 1 or 2 weeks. As for divers, you know, this was a large focus on Apple's event as well. A big omission is that it cannot integrate with air gauges. Actual dive watches will connect to the air tank in order to give you a real-time reading of how much air you have remaining. It's one of the basic things that you need to keep track of when you're underwater. The thing is, this watch has Bluetooth, and Bluetooth doesn't work well underwater. Therefore, a lot of these dive watches will use different radio frequencies, and Garmin has even developed its own sonar system that it can use underwater. Surely one of the biggest companies in the world knows all of this and knows the limitations of the Apple Watch in these extreme conditions. So then I started to pull some numbers. According to statistics, about 2.6 million people in America participate in scuba diving. That is about 0.8% of the entire population of America. The number of people who actually participate in sports climbing, which includes indoor and outdoor climbing, made up of only about 1.6% of the American population, according to a report by the Outdoor Foundation. Okay, so let's aggregate all of this information and try to get to the point that I'm trying to make here. Looking at all of this information, Apple already owns over 50% of the smartwatch market according to Counterpoint Research. So I really feel that the reasons Apple said that they made this watch, they just don't seem to add up to me. It's such a small niche, all things considered. It doesn't seem viable for Apple to justify all of the extra R&D costs for coming up with this watch, all the marketing costs for marketing this watch, the new molds and production costs, etc. that they have to put into production. That just doesn't seem like a big enough market for me for Apple to, one, want to focus on, right? Apple doesn't make like specialty iPhones or specialty products in general. So why the Ultra then? What exactly is Apple up to? Okay, before I begin, I'm super excited to be working with Omaze to offer you the chance to win a custom Baja forged Ford Bronco and support a great cause, Pelotonia. Yeah, this Bronco literally shouts Apple Watch Ultra. That's why it's such a great fit. You can go to omaze.com/Tausif Hussain to enter for your chance to win while supporting cancer research. The winner will get this badass custom crafted off-roading machine complete with a 4x4 drivetrain, formidable against rocks, wind, sand, and dirt. And the interior is just as good as the exterior with modern technology and cyber orange seats to match your Apple Watch Ultra. Your donations support Pelotonia, which exists to engage, inspire, and challenge a community committed to engaging the world by accelerating innovative cancer research. Since its founding, Pelotonia has raised over $236 million for cancer research. So again, for your chance to win a custom Baja forged Ford Bronco, go to omaze.com/Tausif Hussain. I'll have it linked down below here as well. Donations support the amazing work of Pelotonia. Now back to the video. Well, here comes my theory. I think Apple wants to go into bigger Apple Watch territory, but doesn't really want to receive the negative feedback or flack for it. So my theory is they wanted to basically test the market to see how conducive they would be to bigger watches. So what better way to do it than to disguise the watch as a specialty purpose watch so that if people don't like the size and people start complaining about it, then they can just chalk it up to it being a specialty Garmin competitor watch. And if people actually dig the watch, then hey, they can proceed with their master plan and get to the next phase, which I'll get into in a second. Apple knows that the vast majority of the people that are going to be buying this watch are not going to be specialty users who are diving and doing triathlons and stuff like that. And in order for them to even make a profit on this watch, they know a majority of the users have to be regular folk like you and I, and that gives them valuable data as well. Okay, so Tausif, why on earth will Apple even need to increase the Apple Watch size? Why would they need to do that? Well, the answer is simple. Take a look at the new iPhone 14 Pros. Yeah, look up here. Dynamic Island. I think Apple's grand plan is to basically add this to all of their products. Phones have been done, now they're going to add it to laptops, then iPads, and yes, also eventually watches. This will give them FaceTime on the Apple Watch, which is going to be a huge selling feature and will help capture a much larger portion of the market, which will be able to basically have FaceTime calls on their wrist. I mean, that's kind of cool. But in order to do this, the screen will naturally need to be bigger in order to fit this camera and this whole pill module, which will take up valuable real estate. And the other reason I think is that Apple wants to also create another need or reason for people to start upgrading and buying new Apple Watches, because we've seen for the past 4 or 5 years, the Apple Watch hasn't really changed much. There's really not too many things extra that they can do with the Apple Watch. We've kind of reached this plateau with smartwatches where in business we call it the point of diminishing returns, and I think this is Apple's way of saying, hey, let's fork out into this other branch and why don't you guys try this out? Apple is one of the smartest marketing companies in the world, no doubt about that. They don't want to sell you a product. What they want to sell you on is a lifestyle. All the smartest brands in the world do this. They want to be able to associate their product with a particular lifestyle that will make you feel like, okay, I need to buy this product in order to get into better shape. I need to buy this product in order to do something new in my life. So they want you to feel that. At least a lot of us justified the purchase of this watch to ourselves by saying that, hey, we want to become more active or more outdoorsy. The amount of people I've seen online that aren't professional outdoorsy people, including myself, that are flocking to this watch is making this a huge success for Apple. Their marketing worked, and now we have a case for a larger smartwatch as well. But only time will tell, because we have to wait until Q4 earnings to see how well this watch actually did. At the end of the day, this is all just me theorizing, so take this all with a huge grain of magnificent salt. And all in all, I think it has been a successful endeavor for Apple. And as for this video, it's either going to be one terrible, incoherent take on this whole thing, or in a year or two, I will be called a visionary. But nonetheless, I do very much appreciate you humoring me by giving me this opportunity to share with you my hypothesis. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this whole situation, and if you think I'm onto something here. In case, give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more questionable content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay blessed, peace.